Okay guys, it's Audi TT MK1 or 8N time as we say in Europe, and I will be working on the convertible roof today. And what happened is I bought this thing some time ago, and it was said it's all it's all fine with the roof, and as long as you stay dry, that's true. But what I found out is that here in underneath is it's hard to see, is a lid, is a gutter, it's a rain gutter that actually needs to be put underneath here to form sort of a tray around the whole thing that leads then here into this corner where you have two tubes that are going through the car and then go here into the rear wheel housing and can drip off. And this gutter here is not where it should be. So what I will be doing is I will be taking out this plastic thing here. I will be taking out the gutter because the gutter itself is only, if we close the roof again, we can probably see this. The gutter is just, oh, where is it? This piece here, and it is just put here with the rubber seal that can actually be peeled off so that you have it separated from the roof itself, and then I will be able to take it out and we'll be able to glue it back to the plastic and assemble it all again. Let's see how that goes. Okay, it went off pretty well. It's this thing here that should be attached there. You see this gluey thing, and I will be re-gluing it with some special adhesive. Take this one out, and also all these small knobs that hold this back cover here in place. So what I can really recommend is using this sort of tools, because here underneath are several of these things and they get really good out using this plastic tool without destroying the plastic. Okay, next up you have to unscrew these guys here. They start very easy, and because they have some screw locking liquid on it, they get harder to unscrew them the more you unscrew them. Don't get scared away by that. Okay, with these guys here, you have this in this window there. You can probably see it. There's a line and going line that's go through, and two others that indicate the position of the plastic behind this metal clip here, or this metal holder. One thing that I found particularly helpful that I saw in another video is that you can actually move the roof back and forth by hand to get access to certain areas. So I'm giving it back a little like this, folding it back so that you can really reach in here, which is good. But if something drops down, you can easily bend it back, and then you also get the good access there. One thing that I found out with these smaller ones here, they sit pretty tight. To loosen them, I'm using this plastic spudger here first and loosen them a little bit, but then it becomes not stiff enough to pry them out. And then I'm switching to the metal one that has a better lever situation going, and this is how I managed to get them all out without ripping them apart. Once you have undone all the bolts, this thing comes off, and it is flexible, but I don't want to bend it too much. And the rain gutter that you see there inside, that should be attached here to this corner here, is still attached in this corner here and in this, so might come off altogether, and I don't know if I'm gonna do it from the inside or from the outside. Probably I'll do it just from the inside because it's probably, well, let's see. Okay, it's inside, and the trick is to really fold it here at the thinnest area, and then you can pull it to the front, and then out of the car. Here it's already out, and I will just re-glue it and try to fit it in, and then we're good to go. Fine, there it is. About an hour, probably less. Now it's gluing, and then it's bringing it back in again. I will use some heavy duty glue that you also would use for door panels and stuff like this. Is car related, and then it should be good again. After some thorough cleaning, it can now dry in the sun and wait for getting glued together. In the meantime, I will be fixing the draining tubes. Okay, let's try this. This thing here has to be glued on again, and I'm using Silica Flex 223, which is a great stuff. By the way, it cleans away beautifully with disc brake cleaner. That's awesome. It gets off your fingers and everything very easy, and it doesn't affect the plastic usually. Very great. So let's try to get this going. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you really need these clips and clamps, otherwise you have no chance. And now I'm working, I guess, my way around the sides, and once they are done, I will do the straight part, or probably do it the other way around. First do the straight part until it sticks, and then do the sides, clamp them several times and let it dry overnight. That sounds better. So this is what I did. 2 small lines, and let's see how good it sticks now. Well, it seems to be quite okay. It's just freshly glued on, and it is sufficient so that it really sticks to the material. You can just give it a little gentle press down and just wait for it to settle. Don't use too much because then it will squeeze out here, but I mean that's inside. You will not see it anywhere, but even here in these curved areas, it's really sticking well. Let's see how long it takes until we can do the outside arches. Well, works better than I thought. There are some small areas where I will need to refix it, but in general, even here in the bend where there's tension on it, it fits well. And here, this area, I think it's already picking up a little bit, which is good. It's just about 5 minutes ago, and I will now try to do the other arc. So I would say we let it dry. There are some small areas where I probably might need to re-glue, like here. But on the other arc here, it is pretty nice because the tension of the material pulls it tight to these, I don't know what that is, fabric, whatever, coated plastic. And I think we will let it dry now for at least several hours and see where we end up. After 2 days of drying, the rain gutter looks good now. At some points, a little of this glue went through, but I don't think that you will actually see that. It also is pretty tight and looks like it would very well stick to this fabric sort of stuff. So it's time to put it back into the car. I brought the gutter in from inside. Again, use the weak areas where these holes are for these mounting brackets to fold it and then bring it in place. And important is that the plastic outside gets behind the roof so that you can see it here, because otherwise if you open the roof now like this, it won't go down and you cannot access all these clips here. But this way it looks good. Now it's time to bring the roof back. Just do that by hand and then wiggle it into the right position. What I found out, what is important if you want to get this back together, is you see this rubber here, and over at the other side, I will show that to you. You need to get it over the plastic here, because otherwise it is not going all the way up and you cannot reach the holes for these small plastic thingies. Hopefully here you can see that. I don't know. And here is the position where I have to move it, and I'm using a plastic spudger here. Go then, it's hard to see. Go then underneath and then slide my way along to get the rubber lip on top of the plastic. And once that is done, it's actually already held pretty well in place. What you can do is then, push up and see if the holes actually align, because if you want to wiggle it side to side, then you have a hard time with the rubber on top. So make sure that this aligns well. So it turns out the rubber seal is the most important thing to get this thing lined up properly. And now here, where is it? There, this is the rubber that needs to go on top. And then you can start putting in these things. I started just with this one and the other one there at the side. I'm beginning here in the middle now with the other ones, and then doing the rest, and the screwing I'll do as very last. Important still that these threads in the chassis are open. And then you also see here these markings in the middle. There they are. They are for positioning the bracket later on. So at least with my rain gutter, I got two different pieces of these knobs. Black big, gray small. And the positions that I found them to go in, the gray ones actually go here beside the rubber band. Four of them. One here, one there, and one there. And the other two are from, I don't know if you can see it, but are down here, the small ones. All the others that are here underneath are the big ones that I already started to mount. Don't know why, but this is how I found it. Okay, turns out the last two gray ones that are going inside the frame are a lot easier to put in from, where is it? There it is. From inside the car when the roof is up. But it looks good. It's all under the rubber ceiling here. And sorry, but there's really not much space. I will now fit the brackets and then finally reattach the rubber ceiling actually to the roof, and then I'm good to go. One thing that I decided to do is to do some new of this felt here on the brackets, because it was just worn off. And this is the big felt, but if I look at it, I would say that I need the thin one that I also bought. And ready to get back into the car. Okay, and finally this thing needs to be mounted back up here. You can see where the screws were, there and there, belong there and there, so you can reposition it nearly perfectly. You put it on top and then you slide it in and then go work your way all the way. Also to the other side, it becomes a little flimsy here in the corners, but that should be good. So finally the rain will not be here on the carpet and in the car, but go through the gutter into these small areas down there that you cannot see probably, and be drained into the rear wheel housing. Okay, at least for me, I needed really to push hard from here down until I was able to see this stitched area here. And now what you can see very good is how it actually drains here into the drip tray, where then the hoses are connected and drain. You actually can nearly see it and drain into the rear wheel housing. So with that sealed and tight, we can work on the hoses.